So we've got a special guest here with us, Ron.
Yeah, we do. Remember covering you all those years ago, Mr. Mayor, Paul
Johnson.
Some
time. I think I was in the studio 40 years ago. It's good to be finally remodeling it.
Yeah, a lot of work being done here at this TV station for sure. But now you're focused on basically almost like a new political movement in the state of Arizona. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's a new movement. It's not a completely brand new party. It was the No Labels Party formed in 2023, but we renamed it. We renamed it the Arizona Independent Party. And we did that because today the single largest block of voters are independents, but yet if you decided to run for a statewide office, just as an example, you need 6,000 signatures to run as a Democrat, 6,000 to run as a Republican. You need 45,000 to run as an independent. It makes it impossible. They can't get it done. Mm-hmm. And so in renaming the party, it's to try to let that group of people, the independent and unaffiliated voters, know that there is access, that we give them access, that they don't have to follow the dogmas or the orthodoxies of the two major political parties, but they can run as an independent-minded person in our party if they'd like to.
You know, interesting, Ron and I were chatting in the middle of a break. Ron remembers covering you. I do not, because I was a child.
Celeste wasn't born when you were mayor.
But impressive past. I mean, you were, I believe, city council person at 25.
Yeah, I was.
Mayor at 30.
Yes.
Impressive career in healthcare. Is that right?
I own a healthcare company, yes.
And why now? Why run for office now? What do you see in the political landscape in Arizona? Why do we need an independent governor?
Well, first, I'm not running. I'm trying to help young, bright people who want to run be able to have access to the ballot, who don't want to register in both parties. But, you know, when I go back to those days and being a council person, I had to knock on doors. I was a Democrat at the time. I've been an independent for 20 years or so. But as a Democrat, you know, in a nonpartisan race, the district was 2-1 Republican. I had to knock on Republican doors, and I'd hear what Democrats have to say, but I also had to listen to Republicans, and they'd talk about their business or regulation, taxation, maybe people oppressing people they thought that were people of faith.
Was it much less like what we just witnessed take place? It really has got very contentious.
So what's happened is that through gerrymandering and partisan politics, less than 8% of the people vote in a partisan primary, and in 80% of the seats, when they're done, they never have to go talk to people in the other party or independent voters because the district's been gerrymandered to the point that they don't need to. That's created the inability for these two political parties to solve our big problems. You saw that in Minnesota. You just saw that on what you were watching here. By the way, the single biggest thing that the voters that they talk to say is their biggest grievance is how much they hate people in the other party. But that's not the majority of the public. Again, less than 8% of the public actually votes in the partisan primary. We believe the only way that we're going to solve this is that we have to get that larger group of voters, the independents and unaffiliated, to participate, to run for office, and to force the other two parties to have to address them. I think
how do you get somebody elected as an independent? You have a lot of money that come from the Democrats, from the Republicans, for their sides. How do you get someone elected as an independent?
They have to do all the same work that you would normally have to do to win. There are clean elections money for people who are running for office that want to use clean elections, but that has some difficulties to it. But, you know, you have to go out and knock on doors. You have to be willing to meet people. You have to get your petition signed. You have to get your name on the ballot. Then you have to go raise money, raise capital to be able to get your message out.
Go ahead.
But I was going to say, this is also about establishing a pathway, trying to make certain that there's a pathway. This isn't just about 2026. We're going to be doing this over the next 4 or 5 election cycles to make certain that people know there's a pathway for them.
Now, you mentioned, I wanted to pick up on that toward the end of your previous statement, which was possibly oppressing people of faith. Did you pick up on that? Is that, you think, going to be an issue as you move forward?
Yeah, well, so when I would talk to people, when you would listen to people, and you would knock on their doors, Democrats might talk about social programs. Again, Republicans, they might talk about things like their business or regulation or taxation. It wasn't hard to see that maybe these two things were connected, but the parties want you to think that everything is binary. Either you're pro-business or you're pro-labor, you're pro-education or you're pro-business, you're pro-God or you're pro-human rights. Well, think about this for a minute. I mean, how does that even make sense? How can you be pro-labor without being pro-business? And how can you be pro-business without being pro-education? interpretation. And God doesn't like human rights? I mean, the answer here is that we don't have to pick these binary positions. We can find ways to try to appeal to both. And what I found in the process is that if you're willing to listen to people, it changes you. You begin to become more empathetic. We have a system today where they're not listening to one another. I don't hate the Democratic Party or Republican Party. I think they both have something beneficial to give, but I want the best out of them. And what we're getting today, it's a long ways away from that. I think bringing independents back into the system is going to force them to start to have to appeal to mainstream voters.
Do you think that maybe the rise in the number of independents, I mean, here in Arizona over COVID, we had so many people move here. I think that probably helped spur the numbers as well. But with RFK Jr., when he started running and, obviously he didn't have the money that other candidates had, so he utilized social media and he took all of his press conferences live on YouTube or live on Twitter. And do you think that was a very important part in opening the door to other independents as well?
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. First, it's very difficult for independents to be able to run. I can also tell you it's impossible if you don't have a party structure like we have today. Hugh Lytle, who is running, by the way, he's not only the most competent in the primary, and I want robust primaries. Robust primaries from our standpoint will create more attention. It's good. But he's maybe the most qualified candidate I've ever seen run for governor. This is a person who has accomplished a lot of great things in terms of his business. He's been successful financially. He's financing his own campaign. He put out a press release today that's talking about giving his salary back while he's there. He only wants to do a single term in this, but the goal it's to create a pathway and to create a bridge so we can try to find a way to pull these two parties together. And he can do that better than anyone else I know.
Now, when I hear an answer that starts with number one, then I know there's going to be a number two and a number three, but we got a break. Can you stick with us for a couple more minutes? Great. Paul Johnson, the former mayor of Phoenix, when he walked into the studio, I said, "Hello, Mr. Mayor," although that has been many years.
Some years, yes.
But I have to tell you, let's get up to date just a little bit more on what you've been doing since you left the mayor's office.
Right.
I do have to tell you, and I might be one of only 10 people in the city who thinks about this, but when I walk anywhere in the downtown area and I see trees,
Yes.
I think of this guy.
Oh, you brought trees to the desert?
That was one of your main pushes while you were in office to green up, especially the downtown area.
Yeah, we had a lot of things. We had the Martin Luther King Day fight during that period of time. We had a pretty bad recession that we had to work our way through. We tried to plant 1 million trees. And I always believe that one of the most important things that you bring to office is optimism, is a belief in the future. Now, that's easier, I think, when you're from Phoenix. But I say to council members and mayors all the time, if you want to know what our greatest asset is, it's the people of Phoenix. This is not pandering in any way. This is a can-do city. This is a place where people want to see things happen. They want to see things move. And that's not always true in cities.
Yeah, we go to other cities, and I go to Seattle where I went to UW.
Yeah.
I drive on the same darn freeway, the I-5, except now there's 10 times the traffic.
Yeah.
We do get stuff accomplished
There's
here.
growth happening.
But if you wanted to maybe, Celeste, I know you want to, kind of get a wrap up from the mayor here regarding what you've learned since leaving office and maybe how that informs what you're trying to do now.
Yeah, I think what I've learned is that we tend to think that the most important thing is to be right. And what I would tell you in today's environment, I think the most important thing is healing. And the only way we're going to be able to heal is to be able to listen to people who don't look like us, who maybe don't think like us, who are registered in a different party from us. If we can do that, if we can reach out to the other side, we've been handed an unbelievable gift living in this country. There's nothing like the United States of America. I just wrote a book about it called What's Right with America. And the concept is that we've done more to advance human progress than anybody, in any other time and in any other place. The United States is really special. But it's special because we put a focus on the individual, civil rights, human rights, equal rights, property rights, free markets, free trade, free elections. Those are issues that center the individual and empower them in the process. And those aren't owned by either party. They're owned by us. If we're not careful, these two parties, we're not divided. We're being divided intentionally. And that's something that we have to put our foot down on and say we want these problems solved as opposed to going through what we're just watching in the hearing that was taking place a few moments ago. And I don't blame one side. I blame both sides on this.
Well, I like the title because usually we see what is wrong with America.
Yeah, really.
What is right? To touch on something real quick, and then we'll ask you just one last question. You were in office during the savings and loan crisis here. How did you tackle that were you mayor at that time?
I was.
Yeah.
29 when I became mayor.
Yeah. And for folks who've been here a long time, you remember that was turbulent times for Arizona.
Yeah. So, I had a chance to meet with Warren Buffett when I was there, and I was talking to him about all the problems we had. And I remember he said to me, first, you're in the United States of America. You should have hope and belief in the future. And you live in Arizona. He said, you guys are going to do better than the rest of the country. Part of it was getting people to recognize, of course, we're going to have downturns in the economy. We will have more downturns in the economy. The bigger key is that if we keep focusing on our optimism, our belief in the future, our belief in one another, we're unlimited in terms of what we could do. And that was what I tried to do during that period. Now, I could give you 20 steps, but we don't have the time to go through them. But the single biggest key is believing. And if I were to sum it up, here's what I'd tell you. A lot of people are losing faith. They're losing faith in whether or not we can make this place better. I'm here doing this in this party because I still believe.
And that Hugh can do it.
There's no doubt in my mind. Hugh is a very special, talented person. I'm very excited.
Does he have your vote?
Oh, he has more than my vote. I've been out campaigning for him across the state. So,
all right. Well, that's it. Hey, look, politics can be a rough and tumble business, but I recommend you get out of the boxing.
Yeah, what's happening with that thing,
Mr. Mayor?
Well, I took my dog hiking up in the mountain, and he saw another dog that he didn't like. And my dog is faster than I am, as it turns out, and I tripped a couple of times. So.
All right. Well, we wish you the best of luck, and no matter how the election goes, we hope you'll stay in touch with us here at Fox 10 Talks.
Thank you for coming in.
Thanks. Okay. Oh, thank you.
Excellent.